Hello folks, the Atari Junkie back with you once again with part 4 of my Atari collection videos. And in this one is going to be the rest of the games that I own on my Atari 2600. And I'm going to start with the company I have the most of, 20th Century Fox, which actually kind of surprised me when I pieced all these out. So let's go on with it. First game here is Alien, PacMan clone. It's okay, it's certainly better than PacMan. No Ms. PacMan, though. Next one is Beanie Bopper. It's alright, I guess. Crypts of Chaos. Not a big fan of that. I'm going to play a creepy game, and I'll play Haunted House. Or Resident Evil. Deadly Duck. Again, it's okay. Fast Eddie, a game I have actually not really played, so Flash Gordon's another game I have not played. Somebody wrote their own end label there. I think it was like MASH. MASH doesn't have a name on its end label either. There's MASH. You get to actually do some surgery in this one. I love the back here. I don't know if you can see how detailed, but the 20th Century Fox logo. It's based on the movie, not the TV show. Doesn't matter, this game's not funny. The movie and the TV show are. Only show I can watch about war that makes me laugh. Hogan's Heroes don't make me laugh. This next game I'm going to give a big thumb kiss to Megaforce. And if anybody's seen the movie Megaforce, they'll get what I mean there. Now, this game on its own led me to find a movie review show called Welcome to the Basement. I was looking for a review of Megaforce like 6 months ago, or maybe it was longer than that, and stumbled across a thumbnail that has this game in the thumbnail. Turned out it was a review of the movie Megaforce by the Welcome to the Basement crew, and if you guys have not watched Welcome to the Basement, go watch them now. Even if you're not really into movies, because I'm not really into movies, but their show is fantastic. We've got Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, which is basically 20th Century Fox's workaround of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. But they didn't have the rights to that, so they go with Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes. Turmoil. I haven't really played that one either, so I don't know. And finally, a game that never got a sequel, Worm War 1. We never got Worm War 2. Alright, next company I'm going to do is Parker Brothers. And Parker Brothers is decidedly a better quality than 20th Century Fox. Starting with the first game here, Frogger. This is a fantastic version of Frogger. Not as good as the Spectra video version, but certainly a very competent version. Should be in everyone's Atari 2600 collection. Next game here is G.I. Joe Cobra Strike. This game is probably the worst of the bunch of what I own from Parker Brothers. Maybe? No, there's a worse one than this now I'm looking. But, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not all that good. Here's a very good one, Popeye. And while I do like playing this better on the NES, they did a very good job with Popeye on the 2600. Reactor's an okay game. SpiderMan, I actually like this game. You climb up the building, you go after Green Goblin. Actually pretty darn fun. This is the game I was saying that's worse. Star Wars Jedi Arena. I don't even know what to do there. And it's supposed to be Luke Skywalker on the cover. I don't know how well you can see it because the acta plaque in this is building up too, but I don't know. I don't know if that's really Luke or just something else. Now this is a very simple game, but a very fun game. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. And I see more copies of this Star Wars game than any other, so they must have made a boatload of these. But it's a fun game. Strawberry Shortcake Musical Matchups. There's actually some music in this. Pitfall 2's music is much better, but, it's not a bad game, it's not a game for me. Super Cobra. I actually kind of like Super Cobra. I'd like to play the arcade version, though, to see how that's like. And Tatankum, which has the Sphinx in it, and is better than Riddle of the Sphinx. There's the end label there. We're going to go with Games from Apollo. none of these games are really any good except for one, really. This is Infiltrate, and they even got the end label backwards, or upside down, really. Lost Luggage, Racquetball, my end label's coming off. Shark Attack, not like Shark on the Intellivision, not even close. This is the one I think is good as Space Cavern, and despite this rattle, which I think I might have just fixed. Oh, no, there it is. Game still works perfectly fine. That's what I like about cartridges. Things can rattle and they work fine. Space Chase. And Elmer Fudd's favorite game, Wabbit. Get back here, you wascally Wabbit. Let's go with Data Age. Not to be confused with the wonderful company Data East. Data Age is more fly-by-night operation. Just terrible. I don't know if there's any good games in this. Airlock. We gotta escape a sinking submarine. Bermuda Triangle. Bugs. I'd rather play Bugs Bunny, which I think was unreleased. I think it was prototype only. Encounter at L5. This next one, though, is of note. I think it's the best game that Data Age had, which is kind of sad, but Journey Escape. Yes, endorsed by the Journey band, and you're trying to run away from like the press and fans or whatever. I don't know, but it plays a very rudimentary version of Don't Stop Believing in this game, so it's kind of fun. It's the only one I'll say is kind of fun from Data Age. This, in my opinion, is the worst game on the entire system. Worse than E.T., worse than PacMan. Now, PacMan and E.T. garner all the, all the headlines because they helped bring down, the industry in 1983, which, they were Atari published games, so of course they're going to get it. But Snake is another example why the industry crashed. Companies like this putting out trash. And Warplock, don't confuse it with Warlords. Oh, God, no. Let's go with Epix next. And Epix, they have the Activision-style cartridges. For all I know, Activision may have distributed the games, but these are all actually pretty fun. There's just better versions of all these games. California Games, better on the Sega Genesis, and there's a sequel on the Super Nintendo. Summer Games, which I think is better on the NES. And then Winter Games, which I find better on the 7800, but not the NES. Let's go with CBS next. Yes, CBS, North America's #1 television station by ratings, I believe, used to have a video game division. We have Gorf, which just has basically it's like 4 mini games in one. They used to have a 5th in the arcade, a Galaxia type of game too, but there's, it's pretty cool. Mountain King, which had added RAM in here for more detailed graphics. Omega Race, which I can't play because I don't have the booster grip controller. I know that you could play at least the one-player version of this game if you had the ColecoVision controller too, which I don't have a ColecoVision, so much for that. Of course, if I ever get a ColecoVision, I'll just look for the ColecoVision version of Omega Race. Probably easier to find than a booster grip controller. Solar Fox, which is okay. And clearly the best of the bunch for me, Wizard of War, which I do like the arcade version better, but they did a fantastic job on this version. Sadly, no voice. No surprise there. Atari 2600 did not have the best sound chip. Anybody who complains about the Genesis sound chip, by the way, go look at the Atari sound chip. Don't complain about the Genesis. I'm an Atari junkie, and even I know the Atari cannot do very good sound, unless they put in their own sound chip, like Pitfall 2. Alright, next up is going to be the games from US Games and Vidtech, is that right? Vidtech, yes. Both of which are the same company, and they were owned by Quaker Oats. It's true. Food companies were founding video game, or having video game divisions back in the early 80s because of how popular the Atari was. You don't see that these days. I guess the closest thing you would have had was the 3 Burger King games when the Xbox 360 came out. Ugh. I think those were bad, though. Some of these... Now, this one's actually okay. Commando Raid, you're trying to stop people from digging a tunnel into these houses at the bottom, so that's not bad, actually. Egomania, which sadly has nothing to do with Eggo waffles. Mad, which sadly has nothing to do with Mad Magazine. Name this game, which was named Octopus in Europe. I don't think they could have got away with naming it Octopus in the United States, though, because the Game & Watch series had a game called Octopus, so they probably would have had to still call it something else here in the United States. Sneak and Peek, or, hide and seek. They couldn't just call it hide and seek. Space Jockey, yet another space game. A movie-based game, Towering Inferno. The movie's better. And just word zapper. Yippee. Zap letters to make words. Ugh. Okay, did I say that Snake was the worst game on the Atari? I might take that back, because both of these games from Mythicon might be worse. Firefly and Star Fox. And thank God this has nothing to do with the Nintendo Star Fox series, but because of this, by the way, because of this still having a trademark in the UK in the 90s, that is why the original Star Fox was called Star Wing and Star Fox 64 was called Lilac Wars, because of this piece of trash. Yuck. Which must mean that Mythicon was still a company, or that somebody had the rights to it at that point, which is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I got 4 games here from Sega, long before they made the Master System and the Genesis, although not really long before they were making the SG-1000 over in Japan, so, Buck Rogers' Planet of Zoom. Not too bad there, actually. Congo Bongo. The arcade version is much, much, much better than this. That was Sega's attempt at answering Donkey Kong, by the way. This game is one of my most favorite games on the Atari. Tapper. Now, I do like the arcade version, but I actually like this more. Why? I don't like beer. I don't really care for root beer. But here, you're serving Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. Although if it was Mellow Yellow, it would be better. And then Tax Scan, which, admittedly, I haven't really played. And I've had this for years. I should play Tax Scan. 2 games from, I think it's called Telesys. Telesys. T-E-L-E-S-Y-S. Coconuts, which the man in Coconuts is very detailed, but it's a whole all black background, so and they made the label too big when they cut the coconuts off the top. And then Star Gunner, which another spaceship game. Every company had a spaceship game, it seemed like. Speaking of which, I'll go with Spectra Video and SpectraVision, which is the same company. I don't know what they were called first, but Planet Patrol, you think that's a space game? No, not at all. And then The Challenge of Nexar, audiovisual by Sirius Software. Alrighty, 3 games here from Absolute Entertainment. I do know that these titles were distributed by Activision, but since they say they're published by Absolute Entertainment, I kept them separate. A game that was not on the market for very long because they had to pull it when this man was banned from baseball for life. Pete Rose Baseball. This came out in 88. He was banned in 89. So, I'll tell you what though. It's just called Baseball on the Activision Anthology disc for the PS2. I think it's on the Game Boy Advance as well. Play this game, whether it's on that or the original copy or even the 7800 version, because this game is the best baseball game you can play on the Atari 2600 or 7800. 7800 version just looks a little better, but it plays exactly the same. Skateboarding, which is okay, but when I play this, I find myself wanting to play either Skate or Die on the NES or one of the Tony Hawk games. And then Title Match Pro Wrestling, which is not okay, and when I play this, I find myself wanting to play No Mercy on the Nintendo 64. That's the thing about me. I am an Atari junkie. I love the Atari, but I will play other systems a lot. I do like them. I like pretty much anything. But Atari is still my favorite. Now these last 7 games are going to be games where I only have one game per publisher. So, first one here being BMX Airmaster, and I would kill to have the Atari Red Label re-release of this. The Atari label is very, very rare. This is uncommon. It's not going to be the most common game you find. But the Atari version is very rare, very expensive. Speaking of rare and expensive, though, boing. I mean, when I originally got this, I think this goes for over $100 on eBay. Now, I don't know if all those sell or not, but I'm sure it does still sell for more than the $3 that I paid for it. Cosmic Swarm by Comavid, and just look how tall this is. If I get another cartridge here, there's a regular-sized cartridge. Oh, look at that. Look how much taller it is. And the best part is, if I put the other one in, oh, no, I thought it was thinner. Nah, it's the same width. Well, so much for that. Here's a game that it was actually for kids from Z-Mag Company. I Want My Mommy. Play as a child teddy bear going after the mommy teddy bears at the top of the screen. King Kong, which sadly does not play like Donkey Kong. At least not really. I think Tigervision only put this out when they realized that Universal didn't have the rights to King Kong anymore after Universal lost the lawsuit that they had filed against Nintendo over Donkey Kong. So they probably were the first people to put out a King Kong game, and there you go. Here's another one that I believe is pretty expensive, and I know there's 2 label variations of this game, one by Telegames and one by Sunrise Software. I got the Sunrise Software version, which I believe is more rare. Quest for Quintana Roo. And all it says is Quest on the top, but, you know, there's no other game with Quest in it, so it's okay. And then a game from Froggo Games, Seahawk. Yeah. So there we go. There's all my Atari 2600 games in 4 parts. There's one more part to this video, though. I can't do my Atari collection without my Atari 7800, and I still have 3 of my Atari computer games, even though I don't have any type of Atari computer yet. Still, after years, what's wrong with me? I gotta get an Atari computer. Anyways, so that's coming up in the next part here. I am the Atari Junkie. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, folks, take care.